All right, I'm going to provide a little bit of explanation on this factor sheet. This sheet can be helpful to help you throughout factoring, but it's nothing you have to turn in. It's nothing that's going to be graded. It's just a resource to help you. The ones that are boxed in will actually help you with the practice page, the product sum puzzles page. And I should have grabbed a extra sheet, but anyways, it's the product sum puzzles. I don't have an extra one to show you which one I'm talking about, but it's one of the practice pages that I sent. So what this page is so that you can list the factors of the numbers, and like I said, the ones that are boxed in you'll need for that other assignment. So let's just pick one. Let's start with maybe like 24. So obviously always start with 1 times the number. So 1 times 24, or 1 times whatever the number is, will be the first set of factors you want to list. And then after that, you take your calculator, and we're going to take 24 and divide it by 2. Of course, we knew that was going to work because 24 is even, so it gives us a 12. So 2 times 12 are factors of 24. And then go back and now do 24 and divide it by 3. Here we see 3 and 8. The way you know that a number is divisible by 3 is you take the sum of the digits. So 2 plus 4 is 6. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then you knew it would have worked. So 3 and 8 are factors. So keep trying. We've divided by 2, divided by 3, so 24 divided by 4 works. I'm just realizing. No, we're doing fine. Sorry. 4 times 6. We're doing fine. I thought I had a mistake. Anyway, so 24 divided by 4 works. 24 divided by 5. 24 divided by 5. You typically wouldn't try because that last number doesn't end in a 5 or 0. But I just want to show you, dividing by 5 gives you a decimal. So that's how we know we're not going to list that as a factor. 5 and 4.8, yes, would multiply to give you 24, but we want integer values when we're talking about factors. So 24 divided by 6 is the next one you would try, and so notice 6 already shows up in your list. So from this list, on that product sum page, you'll look and see what adds together to give you the sum number depending on what puzzle you're looking at if 24 was your product number. So like I said, the ones that have the boxes are ones that you'll need for that product sum. If you want to fill in the rest of the sheet, it's completely up to you. We won't allow you to use this on quizzes and tests because you should be able to regenerate those numbers. So again, you just always start with 1 times the number, and then divide by 2, divide by 3, divide by 4, divide by 5, until you get to where the next number you would try, of course, shows up in the list. So hope that helps explain this page. On the back, let's talk about some product sums. So this is kind of some ideas of that product sum puzzle, but this gets you kind of thinking about your positive and negative signs, okay? So product of 6, let's go ahead and do our factor list of 6. Of course, we have 1 times 6. Take your calculator, take 6 divided by 2. Of course, that gives us a 3, so 2 times 3. The next number I would try is 3, and it already shows up. So we know that that's all the factors of 6. So we need to find a product of 6, those are all of our options, and a sum of 5. Well, if you have a positive sum, so that's where we're at right here, a positive sum, both of your signs of your factors need to be the same as the sum number. So we have a positive and a positive because this one is positive. You do both of those signs to be the same as this sum number. So when we look at this, 1 plus 6 is 7, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So we're going to use a positive 2 and a positive 3. Let's look at another positive sum. So again, positive product. This time, though, we have a negative sum. So again, look at your sum number, and both signs need to be the same. So we're going to use a negative times a negative this time. We still need to multiply to get a positive, so that would work. Negative times a negative will multiply to get a positive, and we need to make them both negative because of this sum number here. So again, going back to our factor list, 1 plus 6 is 7, 2 plus 3 is the 5, and we've already decided we need negative 2 -3, and of course that does give us the sum of -5. So let's look over at negative products. Again, we're still looking at the same factor list for 6, but notice this time we have a -6. So that way we know we need one positive and one negative. Anytime you multiply and get a negative, that means you have one positive and one negative. So your bigger number, when you're talking about your factor list, your bigger number needs to be the same as your sum number. So our sum number is positive, so that means our bigger number, our bigger factor is going to go on the positive side. So let's look at 1 plus 6. We can't just think about that because we know one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So really we're going to say, let me just read my system here. So if 6 is our factors, 1 times 6, 2 times 3. If our bigger number needs to be positive, we're going to make our small numbers negative. Now we're going to talk about -1 plus 6. That is 5. So the -1, +6. And by the way, it does not matter the order. If you put the -1 on the left, the 6 on the right, the left-right order does not matter. It's what the signs are that matter. Let's look at the last one. This time we have a negative product. So again, we need one of each, and a negative sum. So again, positive and negative because of that product being negative. This time our bigger number is going to have the negative sign because that's what our sum number is. So the bigger factor is going to come over here on the negative. So let's look at our factor list. We've already put the bigger numbers as positive, so maybe just relist them if you want. 1 times 6, 2 times 3. So this time if we're going to make our bigger factor negative, that would be the 6 and the 3. 1 plus -6, there's our sum to give us the -5. 1 plus -6. So I hope that kind of helps explain these factor sheets. This yellow page is just a resource for you to kind of think about how to get factors and how to get the signs correct when you're factoring. Of course, as always, let me know if you need any help. See you soon.